We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about one thing, and that is the top in here, or why are we red? What is happening? Why is the crypto market correcting, and why are all the altcoins red and Bitcoin red and everything? So we are going to talk about this a little bit deeper, but we do not have that much time today, so we are going quickly into it, and then I'm going to show you an altcoin that I saw while researching some stuff on Cronos that has a giga bullish setup, in my opinion. So we are going to discuss that in a specific section here in the stream as well as a little look into Ecomi, how it's developing at the moment, and why we might be wanting to stay bullish on the entire market. So make sure to stay all the way through. So, good morning to each and every one of you. I bet that on this 1st of September, new month, that people do not feel as well as they have been feeling before, as we do see a continuation on the head and shoulders pattern that has been breaking to the downside, bearish retest confirmation, and there we go, right? We don't know how deep this correction will be, but it looks like we are going to correct here into this beginning of the week more. And we do see economic data is coming in tomorrow. The ISM is probably important. The job openings important, and so on. Everything to confirm the rate cut probably that is coming in later in this month. And there we already are at the topic, right? So I don't believe that, or it's not only about believing, right? We don't like to believe, but I do not think that this is the end of the market, as there are no top markers screaming top at the moment. But I think that we are in for a little bit bearish September, as we do mark a bear cross here on the monthly stochastic RSI. And that might show us that for this month there is not much to party about. We do constantly hover around slightly overbought and not overbought territory in the RSI, and the most important indicator for me, the TSI, is still away from this downward sloping line to mark the end of this move, right? So I think that there is more in it from a very far away perspective. Now, traditionally, September has been the worst month for Bitcoin, and even in the best years that you can get, barely 8% have been achieved in September for Bitcoin, which is, by the way, last year was one of those years where September was surprisingly green and bullish. But you can see all the years before, 6 years in a row, September has been closed with a negative single-digit or two-digit value. So somewhere between minus 19% and plus 8% is the overall September result, and on average about 4% minus. And that is something that we should put into our bias. But then this is followed by the giga bullish October run, where only 2 months ever have been negative in October for Bitcoin. And we do see that this ranges somewhere between, in the lowest, 10%. Actually, here's one with 5%, but somewhere between those 5.6%, but also 60%, right? And many months being double-digit months, around 30%, 40%, 30% here, right? So October, following on this November, being quite bullish. And then there is on average, very bullish November as well. And here we do see the average is pulled up a little bit by this very early November, but still we do see an average of 20% in October, and then another 46% on average in November, as we do see here a couple of months with 50%, 40%, 40%, right? So what we can say, the performance that we're seeing out of Bitcoin right now is absolutely on par with what we have seen usually in the past, right? We did close our August 0.1% in the negative, where the average is 1% on August. We did close our July on 8%, where the average is on 7.6%. And we did close our June on 2.4%, where the average is minus 0.14%, and so on, right? You see, we are very, very close. April, 14% against the average of 13%. May, 10% against the average of 8%. So if these averages hold true, we will probably end up September somewhere on minus 4%, roughly, or minus 3 or something like that. But then also, if the averages hold true, we will pump in October. And that's very good to know, right? That's very, very good to know, as we do have not many deviations here to these percentages. And then this December is coming in weaker with the final percentages. Also, we do have this from TechDev, right? Who says that Bitcoin cycle explained USD tops at red bar tops, right? So this, in my opinion, he never says exactly what it is, but it very much looks like stochastic RSI and whatnot. Not even turned to red yet. Impulse tops at blue signal top. Last cycle, only one where red and blue were different. Why most alts topped in May already. But overall, he says, if you look at these indicators and you look at previous cycles, you can note the difference, right? We did not flip red yet, whereas in every other cycle, these green zones were extremely short. This cycle, it's not. Makes you ask the question, why? If these indicators are still holding true, right, in an institutional bid cycle, but we will see. So then we do see here every alt season in history started in September. So we might see our bounce in September, where we do see it also here, right? Alt season 1, 2, 3, apparently all in September. We can verify that in a second. But same setup repeating every 4 years, and in a few days, low caps will pump 150 to 200x. Back into 2021, I watched this unfold and blah blah. Okay, doesn't matter, right? So the anticipation here is that in December, on the easing, we are going to bounce into our altcoin season that then lasts for roughly 2 to 3 months. I would say we are already starting. We have already started, which is why we see coins randomly pump, like Cronos and Pyth and so on. but this is just the beginning. What we do see is a strong deviation in global M2, but we already see that global M2 did not top. Instead, it did bounce on this level and broke out again. So we have a continuation. Once the continuation in global M2 is visible to the masses, they will probably start to rotate money back into more risky assets here. Every time we had deviations like this for Bitcoin, and we can't see all of it here. Here we can see a little bit of a beginning where this was also deviation. Usually it just makes the next move harder, where Bitcoin catches up with global M2 once more, right? So what we see here is a 3 months lead. So this is where the little yellow arrow points to. That's basically the 1st of December, okay? So, which means that very likely, if this is then, I don't know, here, time markings, we see, yeah, this is then October, right? And here's November. We should be rallying into like end of September into October. We should be rallying into that, right? And then we get a steep correction, and then we go once more. So the question is, if we catch up with this with a roughly 90-day lag, then this puts us to end of December, still putting in all-time highs, right? We will see. We will see if that plays out exactly that way. But I think there is one more big fat catch-up rally, and I think that exactly falls into October and November. And that's probably where our mega run is happening, right? Okay, so with that already, because we do not have that much time, I do quickly want to welcome and thank the Rare Hodlers on the stream. Thank you for supporting the stream. Thank you for being subscribed to the Rare Hodler tier. If you're not yet, make sure to do so. Mewtwo is here. Good morning, fam. Good to see you. Let's also see the chat. And guys, while I'm doing this, please smash up the like button. By the way, I saw that my sub count somehow is broken. It doesn't matter. We see Bernard Donaldson. Good morning, PH. Still patiently waiting for the VeChain pump. How are you? I'm fine. Thank you. Smash the likes. Yes, exactly. Rodolfo says, no, don't start streaming. I was trying to go to sleep. Very sorry about this. Next time I'll try to stream a little bit earlier. This time I came late in. Any good news for alts? If Bitcoin doom tops, alts should be ready. I don't think that Bitcoin is going to, or is already topped out. I don't think so. But let's see. Let's see also in the market. Like, it's not the classical. It's not the classical. Let's say market where everything is red. We can see the difference. We do have coins that are just up 160% on the week. We do have Cronos 74% up, Polkadot 13%. We do have Meme Core 50%, PETH 42%. We have IP Story. We have Pump Fun up 22%, and we have here in the corner KuCoin token, which you can see completely up 13%, and the rest is red on fat discount, not pumping, instead crashing. 20% down Pandal, Fartcoin, Aero, all 20% down. Sui, Arbitrum, Link, all more than 10% down, right? So it's not every coin, it's some coins that have now their time to shine. And then next week, it's going to be other coins that have their time to shine. And then the week after, another, and then everything together, right? So this is happening. And I do think it's interesting because I was looking at a couple of charts and so on, and I did find one that I want to discuss with you guys here a little bit, and I put some time into looking it up. But first of all, for that it's important. Cronos pumped, because this coin is in the Cronos ecosystem. Cronos did pump, is up 240% on the year, and on almost $10 billion market cap, and that's because they partnered with Trump Media. Hey Pukal Jurtrich, good to see you. Morning PH, morning hodlers. I still don't see Stacker leaderboard for Omi Burns challenge yet. We'll see it afterwards. I don't know. Leaderboard must come in today. But back to this token. So because of that, there was another token, Lions, leading Lions or something like that. Oh, here, right? Loaded Lions, sorry, is also the NFT play and a side token on Cronos. It also did pump. And then there's this, right? VVS Finance. And that's what it is about for me. So I did research this a little bit. So VVS Finance is the largest DEX on Cronos. And it has been seeing lately an uptick in fees and trading volume and so on. It does support token swaps across Cronos, Ethereum, BNB chain, and it has announced in the past months a new liquidity pool where you can be staking and farming and so on. So it has 100 trillion tokens, and why this is important is in a second. It has about $250 of market cap. And let me quickly put the chat to the side so you can see what I wrote down here. And it does have 49% of max supply in circulation by constantly yearly emitting new tokens, right? So year 2 is coming in. There will be 25 trillion more tokens, which shows you already that this is, if so, a short-term play until the next emission. And it has a halving. So this is a halving dilution, basically, where every year you have a halving and the dilution is half. It's diluted more, right? So then year 3, 12.5 trillion, 6.2 trillion, and so on is being emitted into the market, right? That's the tokenomics of this coin. Again, it's the largest DEX on Cronos, so it's going to move with Cronos. So what was important for me is, interestingly, to see this chart pattern, right? So this basically, we entered this chart pattern here in November 2022 and then formed this mega accumulation base, right? Through all this time, and now we're hitting our head here, maybe coming back down. And usually what's happening when you break such a base is completely parabolic move, right? So I'm not saying that we are supposed to buy VVS Finance now, but we could put this to coins that we should observe for potential breakout to take a short-term position in this. So dilution doesn't matter. I would not hold this long term because you get diluted the hell out of your portfolio. And then, but we did not break out, right? So we did not do the break. Now we are correcting. But we could, on the next Cronos pump, we could do the breakout. And then probably we get a massive pump to the upside. And what is also interesting, so here back to this high would be 7x, right? Only that move back to this high. And what is interesting though is that, for example, during this accumulation range, the volume has increased, and the numbers, look at the numbers, because of these trillions of tokens, the numbers are like 0.00000057 something, right? That is something that makes coins very, very interesting to newcomers, because somehow it suggests the brain of people that are coming new into the market that this coin is still very low, and imagine what happens if it goes to 1 cent, right? Same as that happens with coins like Ecomi when it's 0.0001. Imagine what happens if it goes to 10 cents. Imagine what happens if it goes to $1, right? So these super low numbers also for SHIB are very attractive to many people in the bull run, right? So overall, I think this is a coin that is definitely not a long-term hold. It's important to observe here, as we did not break. We can. I would not take a position right now because, I mean, only if it goes back to its down range, it's like 60% loss immediately. So I would wait really for a break of this pattern. break and retest successfully off this pattern, we have time. This is the weekly chart, right? And then it might be go time, right? But overall, VVS Finance looks very interesting to me on this note. So just wanted to make you aware of what I have observed here. If you want to buy this or not, that's completely up to you. I did not take any position. I just saw this, right? Let's see the chat a little bit. Polls, time to shine, but it's so low, down 90%. Mewtwo, good morning. I feel cooked. I can't wait for this bull cycle to end. I've been stacking VeChain since April 2021. I need a break from crypto. Yeah, I think we all do. Mewtwo says, I know VVS is popular within the Cronos community. I didn't buy it, but I like the coin. Yeah, I mean, as the biggest DEX, of course, it's like Lana, right? Something like that. So for sure, it will get a lot of attention the moment that Cronos goes ballistic. And the chances that Cronos goes ballistic is very high with this news that are coming out, right? But overall, this might be a great time to take positions in coins where it felt that you've lost or not been able to take position. I mean, 20% on a coin that it basically makes you on many coins. If you look at the yearly performance, you see, okay, 100% move has been done already, right? But for example, on VeChain, buying now is almost as good as a year ago, right? So on VeChain, we're not there yet where this massive pump happened. So VeChain will be probably in the rotation, one of those coins. ADA already 130% up, right? On the year. HBAR 300% up on the year already. So we see, even it does feel injective is the opposite, right? We're down. Basically now is a good time to buy because on the year, we're down quite a bit for injective, right? Say down 3%. So basically now is a really good time. You're still down, right? ICP down 38%. It's a good time to buy ICP. But some of these coins, like Cronos, they've already pumped quite some. They will correct a little bit, but they will move further, I think, right? Here, right? Even though PIF is up 40%, it's still down 36% on the year. That being with massive bullish news, right? And I think that is where really the focus needs to be on, right? Arbitrum down 5% on the year. So these are all coins that have not really seen this massive rally. Algorand 82 up, for example, right? It's okay still. Celestia 65% down on the year. Celestia might be something to consider, right? Because the local high is at almost $9. You are buying right now at 1.5. So all of these coins, even in the large cap, showing potential for 5 to 10x's in this run, right? So are you in any gaming coins? Good. This is perfect, man. This is perfect transition to Omi. Look at what happened for Omi. There was this cryptic post here. They have 100,000 followers. Top gaming tokens of the week. Number 1, Omi. Number 2, GFAL. And number 3, Lion. And so they have ranked Omi in the gaming coins category. This is massive news. This is massive news because we expect that besides RWA and DeFi and AI, gaming is going to be one of the verticals that where coins really go nuts, right? Gaming vertical extremely nuts, right? So Omi being ranked in those gaming tokens is actually a really good thing, because if Omi appears as gaming token on the radar of people, that means that many people are likely to on a pullback take fat position in this coin. So I think that's unexpected but good, right? So maybe the entire metaverse category gets adopted into gaming category, right? Let's see here. Are you? Yeah. So am I? So to answer the question, are you in any gaming coins? I do have some GFAL, and yes, I am in Omi, the number one gaming coin of last week. What else do I have? Do I have any other gaming coin? I don't think so. I actually don't think so. Let's see. Hey, Troy Paris, good to see you. Hello to all hodlers. What is going on? So that is interesting for Omi. Also, I saw this year collector's box, David U Blue Metallic Edition 6, Ecomi Series 1. So I don't know if someone made this box or if that's something that you get as a reward, but it surely looks awesome, right? I will have to still get this card for the gold logo. I do have the gold logo, but I still have to get my card, right? I really want to, I want to build something like that as well, man. That gives me I want to build something as well. Maybe differently in the sense, like, put a space for the VV hat and so on, but overall, really cool thing. For Omi, this clearly did not play out. We lost this to the downside. So unfortunately, our bull flag did not open up in the way we wanted. So we can remove that for sure. Not lock, but remove. But what is good news about this is that Omi is holding strong on this level, right? Especially this level here, right? This level seems to be established as some kind of a longer period support. I mean, this is for hourly chart, right? You can probably put this into the daily. You will find new levels as the rest is wicks. But this looks like, and we discussed this as well, right? That the 4-hour bull flag might not work out and turn into longer term bull flag, right? But this is really good to see that Omi can hold support in this red environment. You have to see that all the years before, when the market turned red, Ecomi was slightly green, but then it followed up with like massive dump to the downside, right? Yeah, the logos are doing well, even the Ecomi Secret Rare. Yeah, exactly. The people are buying this up right now. I think this is yeah. Mewtwo says Illuvium and Star Atlas are the two blue chip games I'm very bullish on. Such beautiful games. They look beautiful, but I tried to play Illuvium and it was really weird to play. So I don't know, maybe I did it wrong. Did Cronos do some huge move because BNB and KuCoin nor Aerodrome? By the way, it dipped like a rock, took no profits. Cronos did move, yeah, but BNB, KuCoin and so on, not. That's true, yeah. But Cronos did the move because of the big news with Trump Media and Trump Media buying Cronos Reserve. No more dump taking on Ecomi. Exactly. I think we have been. I think over time, right? If we go into the monthly chart, we see it. We clearly see it right now. Over time, and for sure here somewhere here is some FIB level or so where you encounter trader resistance right now. But over time, we do see that it could not be the state forever that Ecomi stays that oversold, right? That was just nuts on the RSI. Right now, we went to 33 RSI, which we have never seen. Like in the entire existence of Ecomi, that RSI has never occurred on a monthly, as the RSI only exists since May 22 on a monthly. We do have our Fat Bull Cross working out. We do have now a TSI since some time, which is interesting. So we are starting to get some indicators here on Ecomi, yeah, since there's some volume and so. So, interestingly enough, we do see something we've almost never seen. Like back here, we did see one green candle on the monthly, and followed by red, obviously. But let's see how this plays out, because I feel like from all that we see, from all the setup, I feel that this could be what we have been waiting for all the time. I mean, look at this volume also. We never saw this. Like, this is not comparable. So we might come into the phase where this might be a slight red candle. We might go lower than this, doesn't matter. But then throughout October, November, December, we might see the rocket ship take off. Yeah. And for sure, there at these levels, and here up at these levels, we will encounter some severe selling of people that went or are wanting out of their positions, right? And that's fair. But overall, Ecomi is doing well right now, and I think we only, to make it to state it very bluntly, we only have to survive, so to say, this month of September into the easing, and then we should see finally our breakouts happen on these macro developments here. We do see some rejection, as many feared. Let's hope that these rejections don't go too deep, but for now they don't have really much force. A little bit wiggle here and then breakout is expected throughout and we are on the weekly here, throughout the next month. But as we've seen, the altcoin rally, where is the let me see quickly. Altcoin rally here on the total 2 went. This started in March, but the breakout started in 21st of September of 2020. So if you were to make July to September, if you want to make a comparison here, you would say maybe we did start here and then we do pass all-time high, which we are right now, right? We did pass all-time high in January 2021, right? So definitely we are off. We are definitely not on a 4-year schedule at the moment for this, but the setup still looks juicy, right? So I think it will be, it will be huge. Let's see here, Troy Paris was saying lots of people talking about Omi again. Hopefully that continues if we get an Andre Jig size YouTuber to talk about it again. I do think that we really need the kickoff of this altcoin season, because if we look at btc.d, you can pull that up always with these codes, right? Write them down, you can pull them up for yourself. We do see, we are coming into a zone where and this is the right time, right? Where we will encounter, you see this very noisy area here, right? Here, where a lot happens. Yeah, and we are encountering that right now. So we need to break through this. And I think that's exactly where September is going to work on, where we go a little bit back and forth, Bitcoin, altcoins, and so on, right? But once we lose this, then also potentially here, coming down here, something like that, it's go time. Yeah, and this is what we are waiting for. Let's see. But for September, we could come up a little bit more before we go again. So the September, prepare yourselves, could be ugly, at least the first part. And then when people anticipate, because the Fed watch tool, right? I think everyone's eyes are on this. And during September, like tomorrow, there's ISM data. So ISM data is coming in. Then there is job openings coming in. Then there is non-farm payrolls, and then jobless claims, blah, blah, right? So everything is rolling in, and every data that we get is going to refine the view of the market for this rate cut. So the more we do see, okay, fuck, that looks bullish, and this goes more up, is like cementing that the market gets its easing without a crash. And that's the difference, right? Everyone says, when easing is usually crash, right? Not every time in history. If the easing happens into non-crash environment, there's no crash, right? In my opinion, you can't say easing equals crash, because easing is either planned or unplanned. And if there's a crash, then they react to the crash with the easing, right? So we do see 87.6% that in 16 days and 11 hours we're going to get our easing, right? And until then we're getting let me go to the dailies so you see the data once more. I think this is going to, everything right now will determine which direction the market goes in the short term, right? So tomorrow, September, at 4 p.m. for us here, we will get the ISM manufacturing index. That is somewhat important for some TAers like Raul Pal, for example. They're looking a lot at the ISM. Then the job openings on the 3rd, also on 4 p.m. Basically, that says job openings. If it's weak, then more likely to lower the rates. Then the ISM service and PMI doesn't matter, and no non-farm unemployment rate here on the 5th. This pack this week will say whether the percentage goes up or down on the likelihood of a rate cut, right? But I think the rate cut is almost guaranteed. Then consumer, and then we have it already, right? And then on the 16th, we do get the rate cut, and then we get, as you see here, then we get the Fed press conference on the 17th, the FOMC economic projection, the Fed interest rate decision, and so on, right? All on the same day. And I think so 17th could be the day we turn around, 17th of September. Until then, and that's 17 days out, right? Or 16 days and some out. Until then, we might be in for a little more suffering, because if this, let's also see this. Let's take this out of the. Let's say this is our inverse head and not inverse, but our head and shoulders. That would be really nasty wick still to the downside, right? Exactly going to this level, 100,000. Let's hope that does not happen, right? Actually, what was I in the logarithmic or not? Let me quickly see, because I is this non? Yeah, that's a non-logarithmic, so that was correct, I guess. That was correct, was it? Let's measure again. A little bit less than this. Yeah, so on this breakdown, yeah, so it would be roughly 101,000 would be the target of this head and shoulders, right? So we could go there theoretically, and it will scare the hell out of the market, right? When we see Bitcoin coming back to 100,000, it scares the hell out of the market. But let me show you one thing. Let's get rid of this. Is it so bad? Let's see. Because here I have marked with this red line exactly 102,000, right, as the red line. This would be a retest with a wick then, because we will recover this month, on top of this previous high on the monthly, right? So it would be actually expected that after this pump, you pump, right? Bam, you get a retest on this level, and then you continue, right? Okay, so no worries there, unless we do close below that level. Then we have a problem, okay? But anyways, that's just my view and my opinion, no financial advice. I think that this could be this going back testing to this level of 101,000. By the way, here on the weekly, you see this would be the monthly level, right? Here on the red line, where I would not want to see a monthly close. The weekly would be exactly here, right? Back testing this level and not losing this level, right? Anyways, I don't think, maybe we don't even reach this, or we just wick down very quickly. But yeah, let's see. It might be already all baked in the chart, right? And I think this is what it comes down to. Ecomi or not, Cronos or not, VVS Finance or not, it all comes down to the survival of the next 2 weeks. And then we do have one more big fat leg to the upside that is probably going for 1 or 2 months. And then we are done. One big disclaimer. We are where we, right now, where we said there is going to be the top, in the top range, which is first, which we have marked on the 2nd of September. Why did we do this, right? Because the halving, there is this 500-day rule that you sell 500 days after halving, okay? We are right now 500 days. Tomorrow, we are 500 days after the halving. So if you're following the 500-day rule, then technically tomorrow is your day. From halving to tomorrow is exactly 500 days. At least that's how I remember it, right? For me, that's not enough. That's not good enough. Because that would imply that there's some mathematical clock in this that predicts everything, which we have already seen is not true, right? With our mega pump into the halving. So I'm just outlining for you that 500-day rule would be technically our first top indicator that has flashed or will be flashing tomorrow, okay? Regarding the rest, none of the other bull market top indicators have flashed. The TSI not, the RSI not, the stochastic RSI did not flash. It did cross bearish, but it doesn't have any, like it did not come into the overbought momentum territory. Plus, none of the macro indicators are active or do signal the top, right? So we do not see pi cycle top indicator, especially not. Pi cycle says is only 57% complete. Yeah. Pure multiple, 57% complete. Bitcoin rainbow chart, 60. Days of ETF net outflow, 10. ETF to BTC ratio, 63% complete. Right? So many are only 20-30%. There are a couple of indicators like Altcoin season index is at 81% already. Bitcoin dominance has been already in the top territory, is now a little bit lower. Might not flash at all anymore as we are falling. Bitcoin long-term hodler supply, 87%. So some of these indicators are in the range of, hey, we might be about to top, right? But like MVRVZ score, for example, 68%, not really there. Crypto Bitcoin bull run index, 83%. So all of these are zero, right? How far is this possible to dip estimate? Yeah, I would say the lowest dip that I would expect is 100,000 flat to wick down to this level. And I would expect if we wick down to 100,000, it will happen before or at the day of the easing. We might see market makers to shake out, to liquidate longs like hell on this day where everyone's piling up anticipating longs, and then they dip the price down to 100,000. They massive dump the price, liquidate everyone, and then they let the market rubber band to the upside. That's what I expect. But anyways, guys, make sure to smash up the like button for this little bit shorter stream. Subscribe to the channel, notifications on. We are going to keep our finger on the pulse of the market. We are going to keep our eye on the market. And we are going to try to follow it every day here at Crypto Morning Coffee, enjoying our coffees together. So make sure to smash up the like button for this if you enjoy these daily updates, and stay tuned to for more videos, for more shorts and so on. And wherever you are on the world, have a great morning, evening, day, night or afternoon, and I catch you in the next video or live stream. Have a good one and bye.